Small towns have a way of making people feel protected. In places like Eau Claire, Wisconsin, danger feels distant, like something that happens elsewhere on the news to other people. Streets are quiet. Doors are left unlocked. Faces are familiar. It's the kind of town where routines rarely change and tragedies feel unimaginable. But on March 22, 2018, that illusion shattered. By nightfall, a 24-year-old man named Alex Woodworth would be brutally murdered, stabbed 16 times, in an act so violent it stunned even seasoned investigators. The person responsible wasn't a stranger lurking in the dark. It wasn't a random act of violence. It was someone Alex knew, someone he trusted, someone whose warning signs had been quietly ignored until it was too late. This is the story of Ezra McCandless and the killing that left Eau Claire forever changed. Who was Alex Woodworth? Alex Woodworth was the kind of person people felt comfortable around almost instantly. Raised in Eau Claire, he grew up surrounded by friends, family, and familiar streets. He wasn't loud or attention-seeking. Instead, Alex was steady, dependable in a way that made people rely on him without hesitation. At 24 years old, Alex had a stable job, a supportive family, and plans for the future. He valued loyalty, honesty, and meaningful connections. Friends described him as kind-hearted, patient, and quick to help others, even when it inconvenienced him. He had a gentle sense of humor and an easygoing nature that made people trust him. But like many young adults, Alex's life wasn't without complications, especially when it came to relationships. And one relationship in particular would prove fatal. Ezra McCandless was almost Alex's opposite. She was intense, highly emotional, and deeply affected by her relationships. Intelligent and articulate, Ezra could be charming and engaging when she wanted to be. But beneath that surface was volatility, something many people noticed only after spending extended time around her. Friends and former partners described Ezra as obsessive, jealous, and prone to emotional extremes. Breakups didn't end cleanly with her. Instead, they lingered, replayed, and escalated in her mind. She struggled with rejection and fixation, especially toward people she felt emotionally attached to. Ezra's behavior raised red flags long before March 22. Fixation on former partners. Claims that shifted depending on the situation. To outsiders, she might have appeared normal. To those close to her, something felt off. Still, no one imagined just how dangerous those warning signs would become. The morning everything changed. March 22, 2018 began like any other day in Eau Claire. Around mid-morning, Ezra walked into Racy D. Lena's Coffee Lounge, a local cafe known as a community hangout. Surveillance footage later showed her entering with purpose, her movements tense, her expression focused. She was there to see her ex-boyfriend, Jason Mengel. From the moment Ezra McCandless arrived, Jason sensed something was off. She seemed agitated, restless, emotionally charged. Her movements were abrupt, her tone strained. The visit was brief, but it left Jason deeply unsettled, as if something dangerous was simmering beneath the surface. Ezra left the cafe, telling Jason she had errands to run. Instead, she drove straight to Alex Woodworth's home. Troubled by her behavior, Jason followed, riding his bike to Alex's house, driven by a growing sense of dread. When he arrived, he saw Ezra's 2003 Chevy Impala parked outside. The engine was still running. Jason waited nearly 45 minutes, pacing outside, unsure whether to intervene. A passerby noticed his behavior and called police. Eventually, Jason entered the home without knocking. Inside, Ezra and Alex appeared calm, talking normally. Nothing seemed visibly wrong. Still uneasy, Jason stepped back outside. When police arrived, he explained his concerns. Officers briefly assessed the situation, saw Alex outside and Ezra sitting in her car. Finding no immediate danger, they left. Jason left shortly after. That was the last time Alex Woodworth was seen alive. Hours later, more than 20 miles away, Ezra appeared at a rural farmhouse in Springbrook. She was barefoot, muddy, bruised, and bloody, claiming she had been assaulted. While receiving medical care, her story shifted repeatedly. Alex was still missing, and the search was about to begin.
I have a lady that just came to my house and somebody attacked her.
A bruised and distraught stranger showed up on the doorstep of Wisconsin dairy farmer Don Sipple.
Her clothes are all torn.
This police dash cam recorded the voice of 20-year-old Ezra McCandless as she pleaded for help.
Where are all you hurt from right now?
Everywhere.
Ezra told authorities she didn't recall much about the attack, but she knew who attacked her.
That evening, police launched a large-scale search for Alex Woodworth. Officers combed fields, barns, and back roads, calling his name into the darkness. With daylight, investigators returned, and that's when they noticed something critical. In the muddy fields near the farmhouse, officers found footprints pressed deep into the wet earth. There, they found Ezra McCandless's Chevy Impala stuck deep in the mud. As officers approached the vehicle, they made a discovery that would define the case forever. Partially visible from the trunk was a human body. It was Alex Woodworth. A brutal murder revealed. Alex's body showed signs of extreme violence. He had been stabbed 16 times in the head, neck, torso, and groin. The injuries were focused, forceful, and relentless. This was not a struggle gone wrong. This was not accidental. This was rage. Alex Woodworth had been intentionally killed. Ezra McCandless quickly became the primary suspect. At first, Ezra claimed she couldn't remember what happened. Then she said Alex attacked her. Then she claimed it happened in the back seat of a car. Later, she changed the location entirely. Each version contradicted the last, and none matched the evidence. Forensic analysis showed most of the blood was found outside the vehicle, not inside as Ezra claimed. Her injuries didn't align with defensive wounds. Medical experts testified that several appeared self-inflicted. Ezra had even carved the word BOY into her own arm, initially blaming Alex before later admitting she did it herself. The murder weapon was traced back to her father's home. Investigators also determined Ezra had taken Alex's phone, likely to prevent him from calling for help. The case pointed not to self-defense, but to premeditation. Ezra's trial began on October 15, 2019. Prosecutors dismantled her story through witness testimony and forensic evidence. Jason Mengel described Ezra's erratic behavior hours before the murder. Blood spatter experts confirmed repeated deliberate strikes. Ezra testified, claiming she stabbed Alex anywhere and everywhere to escape. The jury didn't believe her. On November 1, 2019, Ezra McCandless was found guilty of first-degree intentional homicide.
Without parole is not only a mistake, but a huge loss for everyone who loves her. By offering Ezra an eligibility date, you offer her a chance to be a productive contributor to society, which ultimately is our goal in the Department of Corrections.
The murder of Alex Woodworth left a permanent scar on Eau Claire. It forced the community to confront an uncomfortable truth. Danger doesn't always come from strangers. Ezra McCandless will spend decades behind bars. Alex Woodworth will never come home. And Eau Claire will never forget the day its sense of safety vanished. The case of Alex Woodworth is a haunting reminder that danger doesn't always come from stranger. It can come from the people we think we know best. A life full of promise was cut short, and an entire community was left forever changed. In our next story, we'll examine another shocking case driven by obsession and betrayal. The chilling murder involving Clara Harris, a crime that unfolded in broad daylight and stunned the nation. Make sure you're subscribed because that story is coming up next, and it's one you won't forget.